Welcome to Reading Adventures. Today we will be reading The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling. This is a great story. The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling, adapted by Louise March, illustrated by Julia Lundman. Chapter 1, Mowgli Finds a Family. It was 7 o'clock on a warm evening in the Sienee Hills when Father Wolf woke up. He gave himself a good scratch, yawned, and spread out his paws. Mother Wolf lay with her big gray nose across her 4 small, squealing cubs. The moon shone into the mouth of their cave. "It is time to hunt again," Father Wolf said. He was going to spring out of the cave and start downhill when a little shadow with a bushy tail passed by. "Good luck to you, Chief of the Wolves. Good luck, and let your noble children have strong white teeth. May you never forget the hungry in this world." It was Tabaqui, the jackal. The wolves of India hated Tabaqui because he was a mischief maker. He was a tattletale, and he ate from the village garbage. They feared him because he had fits and ran through the forest, biting everything in his way. Even the brave tigers would run and hide when Tabaqui ran wild. "There is no food here," Father Wolf said stiffly. "For a wolf, no," Tabaqui said. "But for a poor one like me, a dry bone is a feast." He darted to the back of the cave, where he found the bone of a buck with some meat on it, and sat happily cracking the end and licking his lips. "Thank you for this good meal," he said. "How beautiful are the noble children! How large are their eyes! The children of kings are men from the beginning." Of course, Tabaqui knew very well that there was nothing so unlucky as to compliment the children to their faces. It pleased him to see Mother Wolf's and Father Wolf's discomfort. "Shere Khan has moved his hunting grounds," continued Tabaqui spitefully. "He will hunt among these hills for the next moon, so he has told me." Shere Khan was the tiger that lived near the Waingunga River, 20 miles away. "He has no right," Father Wolf said angrily. "By the law of the jungle, he cannot change his quarters without warning. He will frighten every head of game within 10 miles. "His mother did not call him the lame one for nothing," Mother Wolf said quietly. "Shere Khan has been lame in 1 foot from his birth. That is why he has only killed cattle. Now the villagers of the Waingunga are angry with him, and he has come here to anger our villagers. They will search the jungle for him, and we will have to run when they set the grass on fire." "Shall I tell him of your gratitude?" Tabaqui said sarcastically. "Out!" Father Wolf snapped. "I will go," Tabaqui said quietly. "You can hear Shere Khan for yourself below. I should have saved myself the trouble of giving you the message." Chapter 2, Shere Khan Hunts a Man Cub. Father Wolf listened. Below in the valley that ran down to a little river, he heard the dry, angry whine of a tiger that has caught nothing. "The fool," Father Wolf said, "to begin a night's work with that noise. Does he think that our buck are like his fat Waingunga bulls?" "Hush, tonight Shere Khan hunts neither bull nor buck," Mother Wolf said. "It is man he is looking for." "Man?" Father Wolf exclaimed, showing all of his white teeth. "Are there not enough beetles and frogs in the tanks that he must eat man, and on our ground too?" "The law of the jungle forbids every beast to eat man, except when he is killing to show his children how to kill. Also, he must hunt outside the hunting grounds of his pack. This is because when a man is killed, other men come to hunt the jungle people and set the grass on fire to kill them." The low purring noise had been rising from every corner of the jungle. Now it ended in the full-throated roar of the tiger's charge. Then there was an anguished howl from Shere Khan. "He has missed," Mother Wolf said. Father Wolf ran out of the cave. Shere Khan was muttering savagely as he tumbled about in the scrub. "The fool has jumped at a campfire and burned his feet," Father Wolf grunted. "Tabaqui is with him." "Something is coming uphill," Mother Wolf cautioned. "Get ready." The bushes rustled a little, and Father Wolf dropped down, ready to leap. "Look," he snapped. "A man cub!" Directly in front of him, holding on to a low branch, stood a naked boy. He was a soft, dimpled little creature. He looked up into Father Wolf's face and laughed. "I have never seen a man cub," Mother Wolf said. "Bring it here." Father Wolf gently took hold of the child by his neck and brought him to Mother Wolf. "He's so little and bold," Mother Wolf said softly. The boy was pushing his way between the cubs to get close to the warm hide. "He is taking his meal with the others," she cried. "Now, was there ever a wolf that could boast of a man cub among her children?" "I have heard of such a thing, but never in our pack or in my time," Father Wolf said. "He is small and unprotected, but see, he looks up and is not afraid." At that moment, Shere Khan thrust his great square head and shoulders into the cave, blocking out the moonlight. Tabaki, behind him, squeaked, "My lord, it went in there." "Shere Khan does us a great honor," Father Wolf said, but his eyes were very angry. "What does Shere Khan need?" "A man cub went this way," he answered. "Its parents have run off. Give it to me." Father Wolf knew that Shere Khan would not be able to enter the cave because he was too big. Even where he was, Shere Khan's shoulders and forepaws were cramped. "The wolves are a free people," Father Wolf stated. "They take orders from the head of the pack and not from any striped cattle killer. The man cub is ours." "Am I to stand nosing into your dog's den for what I am due? It is I, Shere Khan, who speaks." His roar filled the cave with thunder. Mother Wolf shook herself clear of her cubs and sprang forward. Her eyes were like two green moons in the darkness, facing the blazing eyes of Shere Khan. "And it is I, Demon, who answers. The man cub is mine. He will live to run with the pack. He will hunt with the pack, and in the end he will hunt Shere Khan. Now go," Mother Wolf roared. So Shere Khan backed out of the cave mouth, growling. When he was clear, he shouted, "Each dog barks in his own yard. We will see what the pack says to this fostering of man cubs. The cub is mine, you bush-tailed thieves." Mother Wolf threw herself down, panting among the cubs. Father Wolf said, "Shere Khan speaks this much truth. The cub must be shown to the pack. Will you still keep him, Mother?" "Keep him?" she gasped. "He came naked by night, alone and very hungry, yet he was not afraid. Look, he has pushed one of my cubs to one side already. Shere Khan would have killed him and run off to the Waingunga while the villagers were hunted through all of our lairs seeking revenge. I will keep him. Be still, little frog. I will call you Mowgli, the frog. The time will come when you will hunt Shere Khan as he has hunted you." "But what will the pack say?" Father Wolf asked. Chapter 3, A Meeting at the Council Rock. The law says that any wolf may, when he marries, withdraw from the pack he belongs to. But as soon as his cubs are old enough to stand on their feet, he must bring them to the pack council, which is held once a month at full moon, so that the other wolves can identify them. After the inspection, the cubs are free to run where they please. A grown wolf of the pack cannot kill one of the cubs until the cub has killed its first buck. If a grown wolf does not obey this rule, the punishment is death. Father Wolf waited until his cubs could run a little. Then, on the night of the pack meeting, he took them, Mowgli, and Mother Wolf to the council rock, a hilltop covered with stones and boulders where 100 wolves could meet unseen by others in the jungle. Akela, also known as the Lone Wolf, was their leader. He was stretched out on his rock, and below him, 40 or more wolves of different sizes, colors, and ages sat. Akela knew the ways of men. Twice in his youth he had fallen into a wolf trap, and once he had been beaten and left for dead. From his rock, Akela would cry, "You know the law, look well." The anxious mothers would repeat his call. Finally, the moment arrived for Mowgli to come before the pack. Mother Wolf's neck bristles rose as Father Wolf pushed Mowgli into the center, where he sat laughing and playing with some pebbles that glistened in the moonlight. A roar rose up from behind the rocks. "The cub is mine. Give him to me," Shere Khan bellowed. "What have the free people to do with a man cub?" Akela didn't even twitch his ears. "Look well, wolves. What have the free people to do with orders from any but the free people?" he replied. Many in the pack joined in the chorus of growls. A young wolf flung back Shere Khan's question to Akela. "What have the free people to do with the man cub?" The law of the jungle says that if there is any dispute over the right of a cub to be accepted by the pack, he must be spoken for by at least 2 members who are not the cub's parents. "Who speaks for this cub?" Akela asked. No one answered. Then someone came forward to speak for Mowgli. But it wasn't one of the wolves. It was old Baloo, the sleepy brown bear who taught the cubs the law of the jungle. Baloo was the only other creature that was allowed at the pack meeting. Baloo could move about among the wolves as he liked because he ate only nuts and roots and honey. "I speak for the man cub," he said. "Let him run with the pack. I will teach him the law." "Baloo has spoken," Akela said. "Who speaks besides Baloo?" A black shadow dropped down into the center of the circle. It was Bagheera, the Black Panther. Bagheera was as cunning as Tabaqui, as bold as the wild buffalo, and as reckless as the wounded elephant. His voice was as soft as wild honey dripping from a tree, and his skin was softer than down. "I have no right in your assembly," he purred. "But the law says that if there is a doubt about a new cub that is not a killing matter, the life of that cub may be bought at a price. The law does not say who may or may not pay that price. Am I right?" "Listen to Bagheera," the young wolf said. "The cub can be bought for a price. It is the law." "It is a shame to kill a naked cub. Baloo has spoken on his behalf. Now I will add one fat bull, just killed, not half a mile from here, if you will accept the man cub," Bagheera said. "What harm can a naked frog do to us?" one wolf said. "Let him run with the pack," said another. Others cried out, "Where is the bull, Bagheera?" and "Let him be accepted." Mowgli's attention remained fixed on the pebbles. He didn't notice when the wolves came over to look at him. At last they all went down to the hill to find the dead bull, and only Akela, Bagheera, Baloo, and Mowgli's protectors were left. Shere Khan roared. He was angry that Mowgli had not been handed over to him. "Yes, Shere Khan," Bagheera said under his whiskers. "The time will come when this naked thing will make you roar to another tune, or I know nothing of man." "Men and their cubs are very wise. He may be a help in time," Akela said to Father Wolf. "Train him as you would one of the free people." Chapter 4. Mowgli Learns the Law of the Jungle. Now we must skip 10 or 11 years and only guess at the life that Mowgli led among the wolves, because if it were written out, it would fill many books. He grew up with the cubs, but they were fully grown while he was still a child. Father Wolf taught him all about the law of the jungle so that Mowgli could recognize every sound and know about all of the other creatures and their ways. When he wasn't busy with lessons, Mowgli sat out in the sun and slept and ate and went to sleep again. When he felt dirty or hot, he swam in the pools of the forest. When he wanted honey, he climbed up trees to get it. Bagheera showed him how to do it. When he took his place at the pack meetings, Mowgli discovered that if he stared hard at a wolf, the wolf would be the first to drop its eyes to the ground. Mowgli made a game of this, delighting in this newly found source of power. But Mowgli was also becoming a friend to the wolves. Often he would pick long thorns out of the pads of their paws. Sometimes at night, his curiosity led him down the hillside to the places inhabited by men. Bagheera had shown him a trap, a square box with a drop gate, so cunningly hidden in the jungle that he nearly walked into it. Since then, Mowgli mistrusted his own kind. More than anything, he loved to go with Bagheera into the dark heart of the forest. There they slept all day. Then at night, Mowgli watched how Bagheera sought his prey. "All of the jungle is yours," Bagheera told him, "but for the sake of the bull that bought your life, you must never touch cattle, young or old. That is the law of the jungle." Mowgli faithfully obeyed. Mother Wolf told him that Shere Khan could not be trusted, and that someday he must kill the tiger. A young wolf would never have forgotten her forceful instruction, but Mowgli was a young boy and soon forgot it. Shere Khan was always crossing Mowgli's path. As Akela grew older, the crafty Shere Khan saw an opportunity to influence the younger wolves. They followed the lame tiger when he was looking for scraps and listened to his prattle. Shere Khan flattered the young wolves and teased them about not being able to look Mowgli in the eye. The young wolves growled and bristled. Akela would never have permitted such a thing when he was in full command of his power. Although Mowgli was not troubled by Shere Khan's threats, Bagheera knew everything that happened among the pack and warned his pupil. "Why should I be afraid?" Mowgli asked. "Open your eyes, little brother. Shere Khan will not dare to kill you in the jungle. But remember, Akela is very old. Many of the wolves that have watched out for you are old as well, and the young wolves have listened to Shere Khan's talk. Soon you will be a man. Then there will be trouble." "I was born in the jungle," Mowgli said. "I have obeyed the law of the jungle, and there is no wolf of ours from whose paws I have not pulled a thorn. Surely they are my brothers." Bagheera sighed. "Little brother," he said, "feel under my jaw." Mowgli felt under Bagheera's silky chin, where the giant rolling muscles were hidden by glossy hair. In a few moments he came upon a little bald spot. "No one in the jungle knows that I carry this mark, the mark of the man's collar," Bagheera said. "And yet, little brother, I was born among men, and it was among men that my mother died in the cages of the Maharaja's palace. This is the reason that I paid the price for you years ago at the pack meeting. You and I were both born among men. I had never seen the jungle. They fed me behind bars from an iron pan until one night I broke the lock with one blow of my paw and escaped. And because I learned the ways of men, I became more powerful in the jungle." "Yes," Mowgli answered. "All in the jungle fear Bagheera, all except Mowgli. As I return to the jungle, so you must go live among men. If you don't, you will be killed. The wolves do not trust you. They lower their eyes when you stare at them." Mowgli's dark eyebrows came together. "Listen to me," Bagheera said. "When Akela misses a kill, and his strength ebbs with each day, the pack will turn against him. They will hold a council meeting, and then—" Bagheera paused. "I have it!" he suddenly cried out. "Go to the village and take some of the red flower that they grow. The red flower will protect you better than anyone in the jungle." By red flower, Bagheera meant fire. Every beast lived in deadly fear of it. "I will do as you say," Mowgli promised. "But are you sure that all of this is Shere Khan's doing?" "I am sure, little brother." "Then I will make sure that Shere Khan gets his due," Mowgli said, bounding away. Chapter 5. The Red Flower. Mowgli ran swiftly through the wild forest. He stopped at his cave and looked down into the valley. Mother Wolf knew something was wrong and asked what troubled him. "Some talk about Shere Khan," he answered. "I hunt among the plowed fields tonight," he added as he raced off. He stopped again at the stream at the bottom of the valley and heard the sound of the pack hunting. The young wolves howled, "Akela! Let the lone wolf show his strength! Spring, Akela!" Akela must have sprung and missed, for Mowgli heard the snap of Akela's teeth and then a yelp as the deer knocked him over. Mowgli didn't wait to hear more. He dashed towards the village. He pressed his face close to the window of a hut and watched the fire on the hearth. He saw a woman get up and feed the fire during the night with black rocks. And when the morning came and the mists were all white and cold, he saw a man's child pick up a wicker pot plastered inside with earth, fill it with red-hot rocks, put it under his blanket, and go out to tend the cows. "If a cub can do it, there is nothing to fear," Mowgli told himself. So Mowgli walked toward the boy, took the pot from his hand, and disappeared into the mist. As he walked, Mowgli fed the fire as he had seen the woman do. Halfway up the hill, he met Bagheera. "Akela has missed," the panther reported. "They would have killed him last night, but they needed you also. They looked for you on the hill." "I am ready. See?" Mowgli said, holding up the fire pot. For the rest of the day, Mowgli sat in the cave and tended the fire, dipping dry branches in to find one that satisfied him. In the evening, Tabaqui came to say, quite rudely, that Mowgli was now wanted at the council rock. Mowgli laughed until Tabaqui ran away. Then Mowgli went to the meeting. Akela lay by the side of his rock, signaling that pack leadership was now open. Shere Khan and his followers walked about menacingly. Bagheera lay close to Mowgli, and the fire pot was between Mowgli's knees. When they were all gathered together, Shere Khan spoke, something he never would have done when Akela was in his prime. Bagheera nudged Mowgli, who sprang to his feet and cried, "Free people, does Shere Khan lead the pack? What has a tiger to do with our leadership?" "Silence, man-cub," some yelled. while others shouted, "Let him speak. He has kept our law." At last, the seniors of the pack thundered, "Let the dead wolf speak." When a leader of the pack has missed his kill, he is called the dead wolf as long as he lives, which is not long. "For 12 seasons I have led you," began Akela. "Not one of you has been trapped or injured. Now I have missed my kill. You all know that you brought me to an untried buck to reveal my weakness. It was cleverly done, and now by our law you have the right to kill me. I ask, who comes to make an end of Akela? For by our law it is my right that you come one by one." No one answered, since no wolf cared to fight Akela alone or to the death. But Shere Khan roared, "Forget this fool. He is doomed to die. It is the man cub that I want. He was mine from the start. Give him to me." Wolves' voices rang up on all sides, all saying that Mowgli should return to his own kind. "And turn all of the people and hunters of the villages against us?" Shere Khan sneered. "No, give him to me. He is a man, and none of us can look him in the eyes." Akela lifted his head again and said, "He has eaten our food. He has slept with us. He has driven game for us. He has followed our law." Bagheera reminded everyone that he paid for Mowgli's life with a bull. The worth of a bull is little, but Bagheera's honor is something that he will, perhaps, fight for, Bagheera said very gently. "No man cub can run with the people of the jungle," Shere Khan bellowed. "Give him to me." Akela broke in. "I know I must die, or I would offer my life for his. He is our brother, raised among us. His enemies are cowards, taught by Shere Khan to go against our law, eating cattle and snatching children from the village. The honor of our pack is at stake. If you let this man cub go back to his people, I will die without a fight and save the pack at least 3 lives." When most of the wolves began to gather around Shere Khan, Akela knew he had lost. "Now the business is in your hands," Bagheera said to Mowgli. "We must fight." Mowgli stood up, the fire pot in his hands. He was furious and sad that the wolves had never revealed how they felt about him. "I have heard you say I am a man," Mowgli said. "I would have lived as a wolf in the pack to my life's end, but now I understand that this is not to be. I can no longer call you my brothers. The matter is now in my hands, for I am a man, as you say, and I have brought the red flower." With that, Mowgli flung the fire pot on the ground. Some of the red coals lit a tuft of dried moss. When it caught fire and flared up, the wolves drew back in terror before the leaping flames. Mowgli thrust his dead branch into the fire until the twigs lit and crackled. Then he whirled it before the cowering wolves. "You are now the master," Bagheera murmured to him. "Save Akela. He is your friend." Mowgli nodded. "I will leave you alone," he said to the wolves, "but I will be more merciful than you have been, because I was all but your brother in blood. I promise that when I am a man among men, I will not betray you to Mowgli nodded. "I will leave you alone," he said to the wolves, "but I will be more merciful than you have been, because I was all but your brother in blood. I promise that when I am a man among men, I will not betray you as you have betrayed me." He kicked the fire with his foot, and the sparks flew up. "There will be no war between any in the pack, but there is a debt to pay before I go." He strode towards Shere Khan and caught him by the tuft on his chin. Bagheera followed. "Up, dog!" Mowgli cried. "Get up when a man speaks, or you will feel the heat from this blaze." Shere Khan's ears lay flat back on his head, and he shut his eyes, for the blazing branch was very near. Mowgli hit Shere Khan over the head with the branch, and the tiger whimpered in fear. "Quiet, jungle cat. Go now, but remember that the next time I come to the Council Rock, it will be with your hide on my head." To the others he said, "Akela goes free to live as he pleases. You will not kill him. Go now, all of you." The fire was burning furiously at the end of the branch, and Mowgli struck out with it around the circle. The howling wolves ran off with the sparks burning their fur. At last, only Akela, Bagheera, and some wolves that had spoken up for Mowgli remained. Now that it was quiet again, Mowgli noticed a pain inside him. It hurt as nothing had hurt him before. He sobbed. "What is it?" Am I dying, Bagheera? He asked. No, little brother, those are tears. They will not harm you, Bagheera said. Now you are a man. The jungle is closed to you. Let the tears fall. So Mowgli sat and cried until he was exhausted. When he was finished, he said, Now I am ready to go to the village. But first I must say farewell to Mother Wolf. You will not forget me? Mowgli asked her when he reached the cave. Come to the foot of the hill and we will talk to you, and we will come into the croplands to play with you by night, the cubs broke in. Yes, come soon, Father Wolf and Mother Wolf said together. Oh, wise little frog, come again soon. Mowgli nodded. The day was beginning to break when he finally went down the hillside alone.